How to eat mindfully during the holidays. Whatever holiday you are celebrating, often holidays are accompanied with certain symbolic foods, as well as perhaps large quantities and several opportunities to eat. Holidays can also mean we are busy with many events, or they can be stressful times that bring up memories and wounds where we may not want to participate in the holidays. Depending on how you're experiencing the holidays, if you can, work with a counselor or specialist to help you eat more mindfully and see if mindful eating is right for you. Keep in mind, the holidays may not be the greatest time to explore eating mindfully, but they can serve as a great place to learn and grow. Can you think back to previous holiday experiences with food? How did things go? Are there things you would like to experiment with differently around eating? What can you think of that you can do differently to eat more mindfully this holiday season? Remember, eating mindfully isn't a perfect science, and everyone finds their own way to do so. There aren't a set of instructions that you can read and follow. Mindful eating needs to be discovered, and you do so by doing. Try out something, reflect on it, tweak it, do it again, repeat, and practice. Practice until your new way of doing becomes routine and eventually intuitive, meaning it isn't something you consciously need to think about. It becomes part of you. You need some time to figure out if it's actually working for you or if you're working for it. Also, remember, things change, so what worked last holiday may not work in the future. So also practice being flexible. Here are a few examples of how you might eat more mindfully during the holidays to inspire some ideas. Keep in mind, these may not work for you and are only offered as examples. Number 1, from my experience, people may overeat during the holidays because there are so many events, so much delicious food, and sometimes foods are given as a gift from a place of love. It can also be a time when we are distracted from our internal beacons of hunger and fullness. Here's something you can experiment with. When you go to eat a holiday meal, check in with your body and feel your hunger signals. Are you feeling hungry? A little bit? Starving? Ravenous? If you think skipping out on meals earlier in the day will help you to save up for the big meal, it can actually lead to overeating because you will be ravenous, your blood sugar crashes, and by the time you get to that meal, you just can't stop eating, which means efforts of conscious eating will go right out the window as your body will be operating in survival mode. Feed me now. Instead, keep your regular schedule if you can, which will keep your blood sugar more stable. Pack some snacks so you can prevent from getting to that ravenous state if there will be long times in between meals. Number 2, there is nothing wrong with trying it all. Often holiday meals can mean trying new foods. Instead of taking heaping spoonfuls, take what you think you need to the end of the meal to feel satisfied comfortably. After all, you can always go back for more, or you can ask to take some home and enjoy the meal again at another time when you're starting to feel hungry again. If you have that auntie who insists on loading up your plate or eating more, gently ask if it can be packed up and take it to go if you're out of room. Number 3, try not to overpack your schedule. Doing so can increase anxiety and can make you skip out on all the self-care needed to help balance your mindful eating. Map out your calendar and commit to events that bring you joy, energize you, and if you can, limit events with being with people who drain your joy. Or try setting boundaries around those events and help balance your emotional needs to cope with eating. When you are getting enough sleep and rest over the holidays, sleep disruption can also affect your hormones and eating patterns. So don't forget to take care of the other things that can influence eating mindfully, including your emotional health, physical health, and spiritual health. Number 4, find ways to move joyfully during the holidays. whether that's a walk after your meal with family and friends, or putting on some holiday music and dancing to it, or even choosing to rest from movement if you're exhausted. Whatever you choose so consciously to follow the spirit of mindfulness. Number 5, give yourself permission to experiment with foods, volumes, combinations, and even choosing just to experience the holidays as they come can help you to eat mindfully too. You do not need to be perfect at eating mindfully. So if you choose to ignore your fullness cues because grandma's cake only comes out once a year, be gentle with yourself and give permission to try. This will prevent guilt from sabotaging your holidays. It will also keep you from finishing off the box of cookies tonight so you can start again tomorrow. And lastly, don't forget to have fun in whatever way that is for you, whether that's with people or a quiet celebration at home, or by choosing to bypass the holidays altogether. Find a way that brings a little joy to your holidays. Remember, these are just examples and may or may not work for you. We may not have listed everything that is appropriate. It is best to work with a mindful eating coach who can guide your journey with resources and tools that are right for you. It may take some practice to figure out what that right is for you. Remember, eating mindfully is an art that needs to be nurtured, discovered, practiced, and fluctuates. And it looks different for everyone. Be gentle on yourself. Wishing you a magical and joyful holiday season.